Hello friends, there are various ways to write a trigonometric table, but I've found here a few people doesn't know how to remember it, and I personally insist you not to remember every value. Instead, if you remember 4 0 to 4, then that is sufficient for your complete table from 0 degrees to 90 degrees. Let me show you a simple trick with which you can create a table from sine to sine, cos, tan, cot, secant and cosecant very easily without remembering even a single digit. Instead, just remember 0 to 4. Now let me show you the simple technique with which you can create your own table anytime within a minute. So if you're writing, suppose if you're writing an exam, and if you don't, if you want degree, if you want the values of from the trigonometric table again and again, and you need to calculate with the different techniques, I want you to use this technique, which is very easy to remember and simple to use. Now, as I told you before, that you don't need to remember much of the values. Instead, just remember 4 values so that you can understand rest of them easily. So first we will write from 0 to 10. It's 0 0 1 2 3 4. Now since we have end at 4, so we can divide everyone by 4. Now you have to square root all the values. Now you can see a simple pattern has been occurred. So before going to that, let us create our table, which is for 0 degrees, 30 degrees, 45 degrees, 60 degrees and 90 degrees. Now create a table with which you can get the values at desired time. Now you can see I have not even memorized a single word. Instead, we are trying to drive the whole table from the basic digits from 0 to 4. Now the first degree is sine, cosine, tan theta, cotangent, secant, cosecant. Now first we need to know the sine theta values. Once we know these values, you can drive all the table within a minute without hesitating by yourself. Now as we have created one line, which is this. So if you look carefully, there is a 0 upon 4 which gives you 0. So the sine theta value 0 is sine 0 degrees is 0. Now you can see the square root of 1 is 1 and square root of root 4 is equal to 2. So I can write it as 1 upon 2. Now you can see here carefully, if you want to write, there are the two ways to write this. If you write like this, you can do cancellation 1 over root 2, or if you don't want to write like this, you can do one more thing in that, which is like root 2 over 2. So it's up to you what you want to do. So I would prefer to write 1 over root 2. Here you can see there is no exact value for square root 3, so I can write square root 3 over the square root of 4 is 2, so it's square root of 4 is 2. You can cancel it out like 4 ones, so we'll get square root 1, which is ultimately 1. Now, which I was talking about, once we got the first line, or you can say once we get the values of sine theta from 0 to 90 degrees, now since we know that sine and cos are opposite, just write all the values of sine in place of cos in reverse order. So like if it is 0 degrees, write for the 90, it's something like this. Write 1, write root 3 over 2, 1 over root 2, write 1 over 2, write 0. This is your cos. Now coming to the third, tan theta, as we know from the trigonometric identity, sin theta over cos theta will give us tan theta, right? So sin theta over cos theta is 0 over 1, it will give you 0, right? Now again, for the sin 30 we can write it as sin 30 over cos 30, which is sin 30 over cos 30 will give you tan 30. Now what is sin 30 is 1 over 2. What is cos 30? Root 3 over 2 will give you 1 over root 3. So I can write it as 1 over root 3. Here we can see easily, like it's 1 over root 2, 1 over root 2 will give us 1. And now similarly we can get root 3 by cancelling 2 from the denominator, and finally 1 over 0, which gives us infinity. So it's something like this. Here you see very carefully, like we haven't memorized any single value for the trigonometric table. We have derived so far from 0 to 4. So once let me repeat you for the sake of convenience. Let we have started from here. First we wrote 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, and then divided every digit by 4, 4, 4, 4, 4, 4, and then we have square root the all values to get. Now then we have drawn a table from 0 to 90 degrees. For the first value we have done by simplifying the square root 0 over 4, which gives us 0, and similarly for 1 over root 4, 1 over 4, 2 over 4, 3 over 4, and 4 over 4 with square roots. So we have got the sin theta. Then we have reversed the sin theta. We'll get from 90 to 0, 60 to 30, 45, 30, and 0. And then from the trigonometric identity we know that the tan theta is equal to sin theta over cos theta, which gives us tan. So it's 0 over 1, it will give us 0, 1 over 2, 3 over root 3 over 2 will give us 1 over root 3. Similarly 1 over root 2, 1 over root 2 gives us 1. Root 3 over 2, 1 over 2, it gives us root 3. I'm so sorry to make you confuse this. This is root 3. So this is, and then finally we got 1 over 0 is infinity. Now let me come to the tan cotangent. We know from the trigonometric identity that tan theta is equal to 1 over cotangent. So I can write it as cotangent equal to 1 over tan theta, which means that if I inverse these values we'll get the same thing. Instead, if you can do one more thing, just take the values from 90 degrees and put it to 0 degrees, 60 to 30, 45 to 45 is something like this: infinity, root 3, 1, 1 over root 3, and finally 0. Here you can see that we haven't put a simple pressure upon us. Instead we are using the basic concept which can be remembered by a small age group people. So I don't insist you to remember these tables. Now secant theta, we know from the trigonometric identity that secant theta is equal to 1 over cos theta. So instead I can write it as cos theta. So here you can see the cos theta. There is 1. 1 over 1 will give you what? Will give you 1. Root 3 over 2. Since we have to switch the order, like if it is cos theta, 1 over cos theta, so 1 over root 3 over 2 will give me 2 over root 3. Similarly 1 over root 2 will give me root 2. 1 over 2 will give me 2. And finally you can see that 1 over cos theta is 1 over 0 will give me infinity. Now, since we know this is the reverse order of the sine theta, so you can just reverse it, or again you can use the basic identity of trigonometry, is cosecant theta, which gives you 1 over sine theta. So 1 over 0 is infinity, which is this. Just write from here to here, here to here, here to here, here to here, here to here. So what I mean to say is just reverse the order of secant theta into cosecant theta, which gives you cosecant values. It's something like infinity, 2, root 2, this 30 to root 2 over 3, and finally 1. Now we are done. As you can see, this is the very simple technique to remember the values of trigonometric table. You don't need to remember anything. Instead, just remember the 4 basic letters, 4 basic digits of the numerics, which is 0 to 4. Thank you for watching. I will see you next time.